Today, I'm going to show you how to make New York-style pizza dough. You can use this dough in both a regular home oven and a commercial pizza oven. I've designed this recipe with a shorter proofing time, so you can have your pizza dough ready in about 2 hours. I've included all the ingredient amounts and ratios in the description below, so check those first, and then follow along with the video. The first thing we need to pay attention to when making pizza dough is the temperature of the water. The water should be at room temperature. There's no need to use warm or cold water. I pour the water into a bowl, then add 3 tablespoons of white wheat flour and mix it well. This helps the ingredients combine more easily and gives us a slightly thick mixture instead of a watery one. Once it's well mixed, I start adding the rest of the ingredients: milk powder, flour improver, baking powder, sugar, salt, and dry yeast. One important tip: try not to pour the dry yeast directly on top of the salt. Now, mix everything together until the mixture is smooth and well combined. Then we can start adding the flour. Make sure you add the flour gradually in several stages. Don't add all of it to the bowl at once. As long as the mixture is still loose and wet, you can mix it with a spoon or spatula. Once it starts coming together, you can begin kneading it by hand. Choosing the right flour is very important when making pizza dough. It's best to use flour with a relatively high protein and gluten content. Heavy, whole grain flours or flours with a lot of bran aren't ideal for this type of pizza dough. Now look at the texture. At this point, I can start kneading it with my hands. I'm going to add a little more flour. Also, make sure you sift your flour before using it. I've already sifted mine. Now I gently start kneading the dough. I haven't added the oil yet. I prefer to add it at the final stage, once the dough has mostly come together. I need to knead it for another 2 to 3 minutes. If your dough is still too sticky, you can add a little more flour. Now the dough has come together and it's no longer sticking to my hands. At this point, I'm going to add the oil in 2 stages and knead it thoroughly into the dough. If you are to improve the flavor and quality of your dough, you can use olive oil. Proper kneading makes a big difference in the final texture of the dough, so I need to knead it really well. I'm going to transfer it to the work surface and continue kneading. You can also use a stand mixer or dough mixer for this step. But since we're working with a relatively small amount of dough, it's very easy to knead by hand. This recipe makes enough dough for 4 pizzas, and you can divide it into 4 200-gram dough balls. At this stage, we need to continue kneading until the dough develops a smooth, slightly shiny surface. Watch what happens when I pick up the dough and stretch it. It tears very easily. That's not what we want, so I'm going to continue kneading. We need to knead the dough until it becomes smooth and elastic. Alright, now the dough has been kneaded properly and the texture is much softer. Look at what happens when I stretch it now. It doesn't tear easily anymore. That means our dough is ready for its first rest. We're going to let it rest at room temperature for about 2 hours, or until it has doubled in size. Before letting it rest, shape the dough into a smooth ball like this. Make sure the seam at the bottom is pinched closed as well. Now lightly grease a bowl, place the dough inside, and cover the bowl with plastic wrap so the dough doesn't dry out. Now look at the dough after resting. It has more than doubled in size. I'm going to remove it from the bowl, but there's something important to keep in mind here. Don't pull or force the dough out of the bowl. Doing that can damage the beautiful structure we've developed inside the dough. Instead, turn the bowl upside down and give gravity a little time to release the dough onto the work surface. If part of the dough is sticking to the bottom of the bowl, gently loosen one edge with your hand and help it release. Now take a look at this texture. The surface of the dough is full of bubbles and small air pockets, and it isn't sticky at all. Now I want to show you the windowpane test. I gently stretch a piece of the dough, and you can see how elastic it has become. I can stretch it so thin that you can actually see my hand through it. And if you look closely at the inside of the dough, you can see this web-like structure. Those are the gluten networks we've developed through kneading. Now, using a sharp dough scraper or knife, divide the dough into 4 equal portions. Shape each portion into a smooth dough ball again. Let each dough ball rest for about 15 minutes. After that, they're ready to be rolled or stretched out and placed in your pizza pan. I hope you give this pizza dough recipe a try. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll be happy to help.